According to the UN's Food and Agriculture Organization, 80% of Uganda's land is arable, but only 35% is being cultivated. Aleptong District Chairperson David Kennedy Odongo wants more support to the sector to aid the shift from subsistence farming to commercial farming.
You know, the tractor hire services that was initiated sometimes back by the previous government, where every sub-county had the tractors. The key challenge that came on board was the spare parts. Because when any spare is not there, that means it will not go to work. So we also urge government and our ministry that we need to make the spare parts readily available even to the remote part of the country so that we can access the spare parts in time and work is continuous.
Samuel Mujungu, the principal of Amugagro Technical Institute, says the equipment given to the institution will be available for farming communities.
Tilling the institute land for use by the agricultural students, and again it is going to be also to be used by community, but at a fee, because we have to buy fuel, we have to maintain it.
For most farmers, working with a tractor is the desirable way to till large chunks of land in order to earn a sizable profit. But the cost of tractors hold back the dreams of such smallholder farmers. Edi Olwa, UBC News.
And 15 health professionals at the Institute of Hospice and Palliative Care in Africa have graduated from Makerere University after successfully completing their 2-year master's program in palliative care. Now, this marks the inaugural batch of graduates in the program within Sub-Saharan Africa. Irish Ambassador to Uganda, Kevin Colgan, advised them to apply the knowledge gained in school to support their respective communities.
The Institute of Hospice and Palliative Care in Africa has registered the first batch of students who recently graduated after completing their 2-year master's program in palliative care. The 15 accomplished health professionals hailing from Uganda, Kenya, Malawi and Tanzania pursued their studies at Makerere University and are pioneering enrollees in the program within Sub-Saharan Africa. The Irish Ambassador to Uganda, Kevin Colgan, encouraged the graduates to apply the knowledge they have gained from the university in the field to palliative care. Since the initiation of learning programs in palliative care in 2003, over 100 doctors, nurses, and healthcare professionals at various levels have been trained.
Hospice and palliative care touches the lives of so many people, their families, their communities. The people I meet professionally in work, in suits and in uniforms. But I'm always amazed when I get to know them personally by the range of people and families that have been supported and assisted by hospice.
Dr. Anne Merrimam, the founder of the Institute of Hospice and Palliative Care, expressed her belief that this milestone will significantly contribute to the expansion of palliative care services across Africa.
And that you will never forget it. So when you move away from seeing patients in other areas of nursing or doctors or whatever, but always remember that that time that it's your day and the fact that we are doing the work of the founder of our religion. Now it may be, if you want to sit here, Christianity, Christ was compassionate.
The academic registrar at the Institute of Hospice and Palliative Care described the graduation as a landmark achievement in the propagation of palliative care in the region.
It is not a simple achievement. And for your information, we have constituted one of the biggest cohorts in the College of Health Sciences in as far as master's graduation is concerned.
Dr. Rose Chiwanuka, the first palliative nurse in Uganda, appealed to the Ministry of Health to provide more support for the provision of palliative care to those in need.
Who are you? And you would prescribe things and they would cross them out because people didn't know. But now people know and they appreciate what you're doing. So I encourage you to continue with the fire in the belly, to continue lighting the candle, as somebody said, so that every healthcare worker gets this palliative care knowledge, because our patients need it.
The graduates are optimistic about offering services and disseminating information related to palliative care. Hospice Africa Uganda, recognized as a Center for Excellence for Palliative Care Training and Service Delivery, serves as a model for the rest of Africa. The master's program fills a crucial gap by providing research and evidence in the field of palliative care.
Meanwhile, the University of Birmingham, through Action for Liberty and Economic Development, has launched an international teachers diploma course aimed at equipping educators with the practical skills required in the 21st century. The initiative commenced in Entebbe, where 14 teachers were awarded certificates upon the completion of the online diploma course. Executive Director of Action for Liberty and Economic Development, Mugabe John, highlighted that the Memorandum of Understanding signed in 2021 has borne fruit. He urged teachers in both private and government schools to embrace this initiative.
I would like to appeal to many people to understand that this course is not about graduating or having a transcript, a diploma. It's a course which it gives the teacher an empowerment that's going to help him to understand what the children need. For example, the curiosity and also the skill, different gifts the student or the pupil is having. And this course has been able to awaken many teachers as far as understanding their pupils, understanding their students is concerned. It is a course to support the young person to understand that I have passion, gifts, talents, and curiosity and leadership which can empower me to be a creator, to be an innovator. And the teachers are going to be the champion for the kids. They are going to be the champion for the children through understanding that this child is a slow learner. To understand this child has a different, unique gift which he or she can be able to utilize. So Buckingham University, we have seen the Vice Chancellor of Buckingham, Professor Tully, speaking about it. We are calling upon different teachers there to be able to join the Buckingham course. And as the host, Action for Liberty and Economic Development, we are going to be sending our communication to different schools, low-income schools, and others to be able to tap into this opportunity.
This was an initiative by the University of Buckingham because Professor Tully, who is a champion of low-cost private schools, saw that even though they are much better than government schools, usually on all metrics, they have done tests to show that when you look at the educational outcome of children, the children in private schools outperform the children in government schools. But having said that, there's room for improvement in both sectors. But he wanted to target the low-cost private schools because they need the qualifications, they need the skills that this course has to offer. So Professor Tully, in conjunction with Andrea and David Longfield, who you saw, devised this course which takes a teaching program that is usually a full-time one-year program, and they condensed it into this very concise and valuable program.
And Presidential Advisor on Health, Dr. Joseph Okia, has challenged leaders of Madi Okolo to have a vision in the development of the district. Madi Okolo is a hard-to-reach area in the West Nile sub-region. This was during the annual prayers organized by the Woman MP to dedicate the district to God.
At every starting of the year since 2022, Woman Member of Parliament for Madi Okolo District, Joanne Aniku, organizes prayers for the district. This is aimed at imparting the fear of God among leaders with the target of improving service delivery to the people.
Thank you for putting prayer a priority. Towards the end of 2021, I felt God speaking to me very strongly that we should come together and pray for our district. And my prayer is that all of us would marry the land and completely give ourselves over to the land. Because when you love the land will love you back. But when you don't love the land will vomit you out. That one is scriptural. Who is a servant of God? Someone who does the will of God, not their own will. Who does what God has sent him to do.
The district has poor road infrastructure, poor performance in primary and secondary schools, among others.
We're moving slowly but surely, and we believe that there'll be a difference. You know, in education, it's not only about sitting in class. Our children still have to fetch water in some villages. They have to walk in the morning, fetch that water, and then go to school. So you cannot compare that to a child who wakes up in the morning from Kampala, sits in their car, and is driven to school and goes and gets a 4. And so we want to even appreciate the government for the baby steps that they've taken.
The presidential advisor on health, Dr. Joseph Okia, urged leaders to implement development in the district.
My first view of Madiokolo, a place where there are no buildings, a place where there is no network. Whatever discussions you have on the phone, you must finish them by Pakwach. Water, there was no water. They bring for you water, and you have to first separate the mud and the water. So today, to step here, I told the chairman, what is this? What am I seeing? The place where there was nothing. Now you have a palace. I can't believe. Those days there were no bridges. The district used to call it hard to reach. Do you see hard to reach? But sometimes you see something that is not yet in the present, but you have seen it, and so you praise God. Because I used to wonder, why is this here, the game reserve? There are no animals, yes? And Honorable has been briefing me that now they are starting the process of bringing back. Even the white rhino will be back in the game reserve. Hallelujah. Vision. And that is the starting point. What do you see? What do you see for Madiokolo? What do you see in your department? Wanakao, what do you see?
Well, and the Uganda Kingdom has uploaded the National Agriculture and Research Organization for the efforts they have invested in agriculture. This was the Katikiro's message in his tour to Naro Institutes in Wakiso and Makono. Let's take a look.
Recently, Uganda Kingdom signed a memorandum of understanding with NALO intended to boost the agriculture sector. Katikiro of Uganda Charles Peter Mayiga and the minister from the kingdom have visited NALO Institutes to assess the works and research. Katikiro Charles Peter Mayiga advised farmers to adopt modern agriculture to yield much harvest.
Because while we emphasize agriculture and animal husbandry, we cannot use archaic farming methods, and we expect to realize realistic income, either from farming or from animal husbandry. We need to rely on science to promote the initiatives which we think are going to help the ordinary person. And the ordinary person essentially in Uganda.
Katikiro applauded the government for the funds towards NALO to do research in agriculture.
We have a comparative advantage in agriculture, animal husbandry, poultry, fisheries. If we prioritize agriculture, I think we can banish poverty. And it can be the basis upon which we experience or realize social and economic transformation.
The Director General NALO, Dr. Yona Baguma, appealed to Uganda Kingdom to encourage farmers on farming.
We request you to promote healthy programs using NALO technologies. NALO have been able to develop high-dense bean varieties, high-dense sweet potato varieties in terms of nutrients. These highly nutritious varieties developed by NALO, let them penetrate the communities and promote the health of the people.
Barbara Zawede, the principal Mukono Zonal Research Development Institute, highlighted on the key roles of the institute.
Kasita omuntu agamba Buganda jano n'agamba nandyagadde okulima obumyu omukozi wangambye kulunda nandyagadde okulunda obumyu ng'ate tutandika okukola ki okunoonyereza ku bumyu kubanga omugaso gwaffe kusaavinga abantu baki ba Buganda region.
Katikiro Charles Peter Mayiga toward National Coffee Agriculture Institute, Mukono Zonal Research Development Institute, both situated in Mukono, and National Livestock Resource Research Institute, National Agriculture Research Laboratory in Kawanda Wachiso District. Deborah Namamonde, Andrew Sebira, UBC News.
Investors have appealed to Parliament through the Ministry of Land to introduce comprehensive real estate legislation that consolidates all stakeholders in the real estate business. The CEO of National Housing, Engineer Kenneth Kejuka, met this plea during the launch of the Concept Kickstarter Conference 2024 for real estate investors. Brian Kayongo, the CEO of Concept Real Estate, expressed their hope to foster collaboration, unity, and increased innovation in Uganda and across Africa.
For the business to run. One of them is the real estate law. Yes, hitherto we didn't have an appropriate real estate law that brings together all the players in the business. Those in land, those in the construction, the developers, those in the supply chain of materials, and those who are middlemen, brokers, and the marketeers, and ultimately looking at the market, the consumer. So this law has been crafted, and I'm proud that National Housing has been a key player in making sure that this law is in place. As we speak, it is before Parliament, and it is championed by the Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development with all the real estate developers. We hope and pray that by June this year, this law should be in place to enable and facilitate investment and business in real estate.
We are here to unite people. We are here to collaborate. We are here to advance each other. We are here to increase innovation in Africa. We are here to, they talked about real estate is not only the asset you are here, like this hotel. It's all about infrastructure, it's all about technology, it's all about partnership, it's all about financing. That is what real estate is. And we are here to continue with the Kickstarter program to expand with you guys and be part of this, and to tell nations that we need one by one unite together and build something and kickstart your life. And that's the future of Africa and the whole world at large. When you come to these particular markets, you're trying to find what is the legal aspect of me partnering with the people who are here in Uganda. But as housing authority here in Uganda, we collaborate with them because they know the system, they've been in the system. So some of those legalities which have not been handled yet, they give us some proper counseling, which gives us a proper guidance for the future of what the government is planning.
There was a reference made to different demographics. So when you look at the US market, for example, and you need to understand what to invest in, what is the demographic of that community? We know that in Africa we've got young populations that are, we've got a lot of labor that is youthful. In European markets, you've got aging population, and therefore there is bigger needs for care. So let's look at the markets and see what does the construct of the community tell me in terms of the investment opportunities that are lying there.
And now in sports.
This edition of the Africa Cup of Nations keeps on producing upsets. It may be remembered as the Africa Cup of Upsets or Underdogs, as many of the giants have been eliminated from the 34th edition. At the end of the round of 16 on Tuesday night, tournament favorites and 2022 World Cup semi-finalists Morocco were knocked out by South Africa by 2-0.
It's a very good kick, it's another goal! South Africa make it 2-0! It's 2-0 for South Africa. They're in the quarterfinals of the Africa Cup of Nations.
To make matters worse, PSG defender Hakimi missed a penalty during regulation time.
It will be a penalty. Hakimi, oh, he's at the crossbar! What an opportunity!
In the other game earlier, Mali beat Burkina Faso by 2-1.
They took 3 minutes in the first half. They take 1 in the second half. And
else would it be other than Lassine Sinayoko?
The quarterfinals will begin on Friday 2nd February and conclude on Saturday 3rd February. The last 8 sees Nigeria take on Angola, DR Congo play Guinea, Mali play hosts Ivory Coast, and Cape Verde will take on South Africa. The late kickoff games on both days will be aired live on UBC TV. Mashamira Victor, UBC News.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar! My boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Thank you. Hello, Eric. Come and see my new home.
Are you looking for the best quality paint for your dream home? Be part of the new revolution with our Global Paint Silk Vinyl that gives you beautiful, shining interior walls, as WeatherCoat gives you never fading and strongly guarded walls against bad weather conditions. Located along Namavi Industrial Park, Global Paints, a reliable product.
Eno bwenuma nga nywako kumiro time era nga nyozaako bwenva mutuliro mu miro nga nywako mu ofisi ya kofinera gye munyerayo hydration time yeye kagwenywako the only water that can quench my thirst, Aquafina we are good, Aquafina hydration that is good with essential one. Aquafina is my drinking water, my love.
In the production process of Aquafina, we expertly filter every drop, providing clear and perfect tasting water to help you keep hydrated with the added benefit of minerals. Aquafina is bottled by Pepsi Cola International in Uganda and is available at only 1,000 shillings.
This Tarehe Sita, join us in honoring the bravery and sacrifice of our armed forces. It's a celebration of resilience, unity, and the journey towards peace. Tarehe Sita is more than just a date. It's a symbol of our commitment to a strong and secure nation. February 6th marks the day when our heroes began the journey towards liberation. Let's remember their courage and sacrifice. Get ready for an unforgettable experience. This Tarehe Sita, we have a lineup of events that bring together our armed forces and the community. Join us on 6th February 2024 in Bugweri district for the Tarehe Sita celebrations under the theme, Celebrating the People's Struggle for Unity and Peace for Socio-Economic Transformation. Your presence makes a difference. Let's come together to celebrate our shared history and the path towards a brighter future.
Ebiseera by'okuzzaayo abaana mu masomero tebiteekwa kukaluubiriza n'akatono. Eno kusimba nnyiriri mpanvu kano kalippagano ka bidduka. Simanya kuzunga na banka siripsi. Kati osobola okusasula school fees z'omwana wo ate n'okola n'ebirala ntoko ku ssimu ye ey'omu ngalo. Ekikola kyangu nnyo. Nyiga bunyizi *8 ogoberera ebikulagiriddwa oba okozese app ya MTN Momo. Ate kati okola ki olwaleero? MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited erungamizibwa banka enkulu eya Uganda.
Welcome back. You are still watching Lunchtime News. Today, we are excited to discuss an interesting development that aims to drive socio-economic growth in northern Uganda, particularly Gulu town, courtesy of Uganda Development Bank. Now, UDB is expanding its footprint with the launch of a new branch in Gulu town, and we are joined by Mr. Samuel Ongom, the Regional Manager, Northern Region, to share details of this expansion, as well as expand on the bank's mandate as a development finance partner. Welcome to our studios.
Thank you so much.
Briefly share with us what UBD is about, but mainly its role as a development finance institution and partner.
Thank you. UDB, that is Uganda Development Bank. That is Uganda's national development finance institution with a mandate to accelerate socio-economic development projects. We're basically there to support the private sector who are within the key sectors that we look at to support. Those are basically areas in agriculture, services like education, industrialization, and of course we also look at things like innovation. You realize industrialization and education are basically the key that are going to support a number of our sectors in the country and in the economy. Agriculture, we look at agriculture all the way from primary agriculture to agricultural industrialization, where we have like agro-processing. These are key areas that play a vital role in our economy. So we basically want to support the private sector who are engaged in those areas to try and move them closer and realize a much more better production. In line with our mandate, we also try to very much look at sectors that very much contribute in terms of job creation. We look at those who are very much in activities that are going to generate some bit of tax. Of course, we also want them to be able to increase on their output so that that can also in one way or the other include an increased tax revenue. There are those who are also, in terms of what they do, contribute a lot of foreign exchange for the country. So we want to partner with them and see how far we can grow and improve and bring about development, especially for the northern region where we are currently trying to do.
You talked about support, and what does that exactly look like when you're supporting the private sector? Are you funding loans? What does this look like?
No, thank you. Ideally, our support to the private sector is threefold. We have the non-financial and the financial. Now, in the non-financial, we have services that help try to improve their capacity in terms of how bankable their projects are, the ideas they have that call for some bit of specialized management and improvement. We have the capacity to do that. That is under the non-financial, where we have projects that probably have very good ideas but lack the necessary inputs. So under our project preparation unit and our business advisory department, we come in and support them. Then in the financial, we of course give term loans. We have loans in different categories. We have the asset finance that we give to those who look at purchasing equipment from abroad to come and improve their production. So we give them facilities in different categories, but also that comes along with a lot of advisory, a lot of technical assistance, and structuring to ensure that they ably pick up. We want to ensure that our financing does not constrain them, but rather facilitates them. And of course, we do that by giving them very flexible patient capitals with the structures that support the incomes that they will be generating through the projects that we look forward to supporting.
So who is eligible for these loans and funding, and all this support that you've talked about the private sector, but what are the requirements that one needs to have in order to access this support? Thank you.
Our requirements are not so many, they are not so different from any other requirements. We basically have standard checklists that we the customers go through and support them to realize this. They are not anything outside the usual. We also say all Ugandans are eligible to being supported, provided they are within the areas that fall under the National Development Plan of Government 3, where we, of course, look at primary agriculture, we look at agro-processing, we look at services. In services sectors, we look at education, health, hospitality, tourism, education, among others. So when you are in those sectors, you are eligible to get support. Those who are in agriculture, from primary agriculture to agro-processing, you're very eligible. Those who are in some kind of industrialization of any kind, we basically want to support them because we look at these as areas that have potential to create jobs. They have potential to generate tax for government. They have potential to give us foreign exchange. So we come in to support with all the necessary expertise that we do possess at UDB. So ideally, the checklist of the things that whoever qualifies is basically very direct at the usual things that all registered institutions or other companies or business entities have. We just come to look at how authentic they are and how well they relate to the businesses they are doing, and that is it. It isn't really much that will discourage anybody who is interested in coming to UDB for funding. It is something we work through with them. We don't leave it to them. So it is really very, very simple and obvious.
So you've recently launched a branch in Gulu. Is this the first in northern Uganda, or are there many others?
Thank you. UDB has in the past, for the past 50 years, served the country through its Kampala-based office. For the last 50 years, they've reached every part of the country. We are now looking at deepening our financial interventions and support. That's why we are now moving out to be based in the regions. Yes, we've recently opened the office in Gulu that is going to take care of the northern region. And we also are in plans to open other regions, other 4 regions, region offices, and these include Arua, that will take care of the Western Nile. We are looking at Mbale, that is going to take care of the eastern part of the country. We are looking at Hoima, which is going to take care of the Midwest and the Albertine region. And Mbarara, which will take care of the Western region. This is something that we are doing to increase our support, but we are already in the regions. We have customers whom we are serving in all the different regions. This is just something to deepen and further our support.
So can you elaborate on the tailored financial solutions you're going to be offering, solutions and services in now the northern regional branch?
Thank you. To be very relevant to the northern region, we had to look at what the specific and unique requirements and needs that the northern region
Studying the
has.
market.
Yes. So we've come up with a number of programs, and in our settings we have the special programs where we are looking at the youth, the women, and the SMEs. And we've lowered our minimum loan to about 50 million. And this can be accessed using the usual collateral as opposed to the formal collateral that we've always taken, that is the land sales agreement. We are now looking at supporting them using the land sales agreement. We go through a process of verification with them and ascertain the ownership. Then we do some bit of valuation and establish how much they qualify, in addition to a number of other incentives that are geared towards supporting the SMEs,
So the
only
only collateral, just to be clear, the only collateral one needs is a land agreement.
A land sales agreement for the north, we're going to take care of that. Those who have land titles, well and good, will always take them on. But for the great majority, looking at the different requirements and the uniqueness of the area, if we are to support them, we are looking at bringing them in through the special program arrangement, where we will be considering the traditional collateral like the unregistered lands, provided they can be authenticated and ownership established. And you realize that the youth and the women and the SME form the biggest bulk of our economy.
What about, just to stay on that, what about other assets for collateral? Is it just the land? Because we see also in the northern region, not just the northern region, in the rural regions, you'll find that ownership of land for women is a topic that is, you know, tricky.
Well, ideally, that's why we have the special program arrangement, and we'll be looking into details of some kind of ownership arrangement. Yes, they do, but women have come up and they're already engaged in a number of economic activities, and already our findings down there on the ground show that they have something to show off, something that actually can secure funding to enable their business activities. So we want to go down there and establish how well we can support them using the collateral they have. We have other requirements in terms of collateral. If we are going to fund an asset acquisition, that asset obviously forms part of the collateral for the facility you are taking.
Yes.
Then if we are going to also have some bit of partnership in the arrangement, we will see some kind of guarantee to support. Our intention is to support them because we realize they have a challenge in that area. So our specific interventions are targeting to the solutions that we have come up with to support them as they are. We appreciate the number of titles there, but the great majority still hold the traditional land as part of collateral unregistered. That's why we go a step ahead to work with them to establish the ownership. And then if okay, we can always go ahead and support them with some kind of funding to further improve their economic activities wherever they're engaged. You realize the women and the youth, of course, have similar challenge. They don't have capital, they don't have collateral. So our specific interventions are basically going to address those areas to support the different economic activities that they're engaged in. Yeah.
So how does someone, if I'm out there in Gulu and I didn't know about the launch of this branch, how do I get to you?
We are located on plot 67, Lower Churchill Drive, Gulu City, senior quarters. We have tried to reach out to the different communities, different medias, different organizations, like the local Chamber of Commerce. We've held a number of consultative investment engagements with them to try and let them know our purpose for creating the Gulu office to take care of the northern region. We are also on the ground and reaching out to the different organizations within the region and let them know we are in the region to support them. We are in the region to offer any kind of financial intervention and also non-financial. So we've actually gone through the different leaderships in the different areas in the region to let them know of our presence, so that when they meet the different members of their organization, they let them know the presence of UDB in Gulu and their mandate and the capacity that they hold to support them in whatever economic activities they are in that are geared towards inspiring development in the region.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ngom.
Thank you.
And that does it for Lunchtime News. Thank you for sticking with us. You had this. UDB has launched a new branch in Gulu town, and this is to help with the socio-economic growth in northern Uganda, but also Uganda at large. I am Rhodah Ngonzi. Good afternoon.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Oh,
This Tarehe Sita, join us in honoring the bravery and sacrifice of our armed forces. It's a celebration of resilience, unity, and the journey towards peace. Tarehe Sita is more than just a date. It's a symbol of our commitment to a strong and secure nation. February 6th marks the day when our heroes began the journey towards liberation. Let's remember their courage and sacrifice. Get ready for an unforgettable experience. This Tarehe Sita, we have a lineup of events that bring together our armed forces and the community. Join us on 6th February 2024 in Bugweri District,